Hi, my name is Catherine Bowen, and as the CEO of NextVisor, the Bowen Team Realty, and my latest project of founding Women, Faith, and Finance, it is an amazing excitement today to share with you this new podcast, in which we are going to be talking about 5 different pillars: family, right? Very important, faith, finances, fitness, and some fun. And so this is the reason why we created this podcast, because I've been in the industry for over a decade, and I just didn't want to bring a couple of tools. I want to bring experiences, yes, and tools too, but also some fun. So welcome, and let's get started with Grow, Set, Go. Come on. In the episode of today, we're going to be talking about real estate, right? Are you really ready to purchase a home? There's a lot of buzz right now out there and be like, well, you can start with 0% interest, but things could change, right? But there are things that are always there that you always need to follow that structure. And so what are those things? Obviously, when you start thinking about buying a home, there are key things like, how is your debt to ratio income? Now that sounds like, what does that mean, Catherine? Debt to ratio income is like, how are you managing your debt, right? How is your income compared to your debt? How's your credit? We'll talk in a minute about different loan options out there, but how's your credit, right? That's important to know, is having an assessment beforehand on like, okay, am I really ready to buy a home? Another thing too is having your like I said, credit, of course, but also having some liquid assets. Would you be ready to have and cover some cost, like a down payment, like covering some costs for closing? Some people don't add up this to their equation, and they just get super excited, and they call the realtor and they're like, we are ready. And I will say, start with your due diligence ahead of time, right? Before you get to talk to the realtor, honestly, just pull your budget, pull the things that you're doing right now, and figure out where exactly are you and how ready do you feel like you are. Now, once you have that, then you can reach out and be like, okay, listen, these are my taxes, this is my income, here's my debt. Am I ready, right? Once you do that, what is the next thing you're going to do? How much can you really afford? And to find out how much you can really afford, you guys, listen, you gotta have a lender or a bank run your credit, submit all the information that you have there, and they'll be able to tell you on a pre-approval. You know what happens a lot? A lot of people go out there trying to shop for a home, and they're like excited looking for homes, and they might not even qualify for that. So what's the point, right? If you're serious about making and building wealth, real estate is one of the ways, right? Acquiring your home, maybe a different property too. This is the reason why I'm saying subscribe to our channel. We will be bringing experts in different areas and provide you some valuable and key information and tools so you can have an abundance in your life, and you can have a long, everlasting financial wellness. Going back into understanding how you need to get pre-approval. On the pre-approval, they will pull your credit and find out exactly how much will you qualify. Now, say you're already qualified, you pre-qualify with a lender, and they tell you, okay, what kind of options are out there for mortgages, right? What kind of lending is it? There's actually a few of them. The first one is a conventional loan. That conventional loan, usually it's for people who have a better credit score, right? Who have also some more money for down payment, maybe 20%. Although, like I said, I know we've been hearing a lot that Bank of America is offering 0% interest rates for Latino and Hispanic communities. Black and Hispanic communities, which is great. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, reach out to a representative. This is not endorsed by them, by the way, but just reach out and find out what that means. But so that's one, right? Conventional loans. The other one is FHA loans, which actually help a lot of people who are for the very first time buying a home, because with an FHA loan is pretty much backed by government funds. And so these loans will provide an easier way for people to get into the home ownership, right? That dream of finally owning a home. Another one is VA. So if you have served to our amazing country, by the way, thank you for serving, right? This is a type of loan that almost 90% of these loans will go with zero, right? You heard me right, with zero initial cost to you, right? No down payments. And so that helps a lot of VA veterans, right? For veterans who have served our country. There's another one. So this is the fourth one. It's a USDA loan, which are for families that are in greater need. Now, this type of loans are, again, they give 100% financing to families who are really, really struggling. Now, here's the thing. This type of loans are only available to certain areas, right? So you're not going to be able to go maybe to your preferred or desired area that you've been thinking to go. This type of loans are for areas that the government is trying to build up those communities. And so they're going to be very specific on areas or very specific counties that these loans will be available. What happens with the credit, right? Please, these are things that you do not want to do. Once you get pre-approval, once you have that letter, once you start going out shopping, do not be a co-borrower of anybody. Because we had a situation with a client. He was trying to help out his cousin. He co-signed for him to buy a new truck. And guess what? By the time before closing, they'll run the credit one more time. And he was not able to go through the loan. Because now his debt to ratio income was bigger, right, was higher, and so now he can't get approved. And so still today we're trying to wait for that to get resolved. But again, do not add any more cash into your bank accounts, right? Before you do that, talk to your lender, especially if you're in that process of pre-approval. You get approved, now you have the loan, now you're shopping for a house, now you have, finally, you're under contract. Anything that you do in regard finances, you gotta really ask your lender. Don't make any decisions, right? Don't buy anything big. Don't make any large purchases. Don't add any more debt. No revolving. Don't be a co-borrower. Don't add cash into your accounts. I know it sounds crazy, but it really will trump the process of the lender, because during that time, they still want to know everything that you're doing and how you're going to be approved. Oh, and this is an important thing. Don't quit your job if you're in the middle of getting approved. Don't switch careers yet. Let that approve first, and then you can do something else, because that will also trump the process of you getting approved for a loan, a home loan. So again, I know and I'm certain that this is going to provide a lot of great value to you guys. So call your friend, right, and say, hey, this podcast is on fire, because at the end of the day, we got to have this growth first. Then we get set, right? We get the set amount of tools, information, but then we go, right? It's action time. It's time to go. So we'll love to see you guys subscribe to Growth Set Go podcast, because we're going to be bringing a lot more information, a lot more tools, and some guest speakers that they will blow your mind on how much they have done and how much they have contributed to many communities and people's lives and business and wealth. So I'm just super excited for that. So stay tuned. Another thing to take in consideration is your budget, right? Because a lot of people, even though you can start a loan with a 0% interest, wouldn't you rather start your home buying process knowing that you have a little cushion and knowing that you have an extra amount of money that you might not need it? But let me tell you, that brings peace, right? That brings peace of mind that you can, if needed, you have that extra there for you to use. So a lot of people go into this cycle of that they get super excited, they go buy a house, and guess what? They start living this thing like paycheck to paycheck. And that's not the whole point of building wealth, even through real estate, right? You gotta have a plan of action. You gotta know, okay, if I am gonna buy a house, even if they approve you for $500,000, you know what I see a lot out there? They'll be like, okay, I'll take the $500,000. And it's a stretch for a lot of families. It's a big stretch. And so I would rather have a $300,000 and knowing that I did approve for $500, but everything extra that I could be using, I can repurpose it for something else, right? I can do other investments, right? I could use something that's called OPM. So stay tuned the next one because we'll talk about that, right? Other people's money is leveraging, right? So we're not like super tied into one thing and tied up all our money. We work every single day just to pay our mortgage. That's not the way of building wealth, right? So even if you have to start small, why? Because you will need to have, 20% down payment. I know they're saying you don't, but wouldn't you want to be in that position to better have it than when you need it, don't have it, right? Wouldn't that make sense? Again, have extra money, right? Have some extra money for closing costs. Right now we're in the market and, a lot of people are negotiating the closing cost again. That's fine. But what if you really, really want that house and you can't have the seller wanting to give you that closing cost? Now what? Have it ready. So prepare ahead of time before the time gets there, right? This is the time. So if you are thinking on buying a home, your first home at least, then have extra money. When you have it, I promise you guys, you're gonna be able to make better decisions even at the negotiation table. You'll be like, nope, I'm not doing that because this is what I want. But if you don't have that, it's a very emotional decision. And then when things start settling down and every day you gotta go to work with the people that you love, right? Hopefully. But anyways, you go to work and now what? You are stuck with that payment that you didn't really were ready for it. So be very cautious on overstretching yourself on a loan. Even if it's for a home, I get it, you're gonna build equity, but be very cautious on overstretching on a loan. I hope this is making sense, okay? So basically, again, on a recap, are you really ready to buy a home? Right? How is your income? How's your credit? Do you have some amount of money, liquid money on your account? And what type of loan are you going to be approved for? Okay. So with that being said, I'm just super thrilled of all these upcoming podcasts that we're going to be doing. So stay tuned. And once again, let's growth, set, go. Come on.